Do you feel tension within your body from inextinguishable desire, and weight on your shoulders? Do you wish for a blissful release? Then truly embrace your current moment, by clearing your mind from toxic thoughts. If you have ever been super thirsty, and drunk water, then you know the climax-worthy feeling. Sadly, it is much easier said than done. Because three huge culprits of our suffering are also fighting for our attention. So let's break these chains. Firstly, being scared of the future. So many bad things could happen. And the human mind is great at coming up with scary scenarios, making us anxious about problems, which could happen, like being rejected, and reminded about it by everyone until old age. In reality, due to the human brain's limited ability to know and calculate interactions of all variables, the imagined future is prone to mistakes, and usually is far from what really will happen. Ultimately, being anxious is nothing more than being scared of a fictional monster, created by our mind. For instance, a boy, who was afraid of being forced to leave the school, and sold like a thing, although in reality, the future was not nearly as bad, and vice versa is also true, like expecting a reward for all the hard work done, because it can end up with a huge disappointment. Anya too well knows this feeling, so often coming up with a seemingly great plan, and seeing it fail spectacularly, due to unforeseen factors, like being proud of her dog, but forgetting to give the dog a name, which destroyed the banter. So it is good to plan things, but we must avoid getting too carried away with our imagination, and even more importantly, react to it. Secondly, being stuck in the past. Sometimes we are thinking about how we could have done better, and so much wish to return in time with current knowledge, feel regret for not knowing better back then. We replay events again and again, dreaming of a better what-if scenario. But the truth is, our minds do not take into account other factors. For example, due to the advantage of foresight and mental growth since the event, it is unfair to overestimate the capabilities of our past selves. For instance, at 4 years we could not read as well as at 14. Moreover, concentrating too much on the past takes away energy from the present and future, making us much more open to new regrets, and it will feed the cycle even more. Furthermore, the longer you live, the more opportunities for regret, which at some point might get overwhelming. So instead of time travel, we must embrace self-compassion for weaker past versions of ourselves, in order to forgive, learn from the mistakes, and move on, like Twilight, who was motivated by traumatic childhood events, to prevent it from happening again with other children. Another thing is dreaming to return to a better time, when life felt better. For instance, early childhood, when there was practically no responsibility, and the world was full of discoveries. The reality is, our brains again are warping the picture. So-called good times might have been even worse than now, but we remember them with nostalgia, due to filtering out bad events and aspects, such as in early childhood having very limited mental abilities, which denies certain freedoms, opportunities, such as Anya's inability to determine time with clocks, or truly understand the measurement of time. Therefore Anya has much more difficulty planning things. So it is good to analyze mistakes to avoid them in the future, and remember successes to repeat them, but we must avoid wasting time, trying to change something unchangeable. Thirdly, being chained by our egos. We have perceptions of who we are, what we must achieve at certain ages, what we deem right and so on. And if something goes against this perception, we might perceive it as something not worthy of our attention, or even as an attack on us, so we might deny it. This approach might seem preferable to feeling irritatingly paradoxical, such as a highly standing boy being in love with a commoner who hit him, or even admit not knowing, being lost, and with it feeling vulnerable, like a perfectionist depending on other people. The truth is, if objective reality is a mirror, then what we perceive is just a shard. Moreover, if we chain ourselves to only one shard, we have huge problems seeing further ones. Also, our egos are vastly based on fiction, just another fruit of our mind, because often even evidences, which prove certain things, are more to justify the inner feelings. If we consider ourselves smart, we will tend to remember instances when we excelled, but if low intelligence, then instances we failed, and be biased to ignore contradictory evidences. So we must observe from multiple angles. So it is good to understand our weak and strong sides, try to determine which direction to go, but to be more objective, we must avoid attaching too much to our perception of ourselves, and learn more to let go of our presumptions. Let's learn the following exercise, to be more like George, who clung to each moment as the last one, and could see beauty even in the mundane, like picking up garbage and laughing at how poetic it is. The exercise will also supercharge your creativity, and will make us much more pleasant to hang around. So, let's throw away the idea that we can even a little bit predict the future. Throw away our egos, our presumptions of how we are perceived by others, should have achieved, are capable of, and so on. Throw away all your memories about the past. At this moment we are just human beings interacting with the world for the first time. So describe what you are experiencing, without using your past knowledge, assumptions. What do you see, feel, hear? Forge new connections between things. The weirder or more surprising they feel, the better task you are doing. Although the main task is not to achieve things, get a certain outcome, but to experience. Concentrate only on the process. Let's enjoy the weight being lifted from shoulders. Also, let's share answers to these questions in the comments section. Moreover, what makes a villain or a hero is not only the outer environment, but also a response reaction to it. When a person has hardships due to somebody, whether the person chooses to concentrate on revenge, or how to make the current situation better, search for guilty, or a way out. For instance, George Glooman, who is usually gloomy, at the beginning chose revenge, to get out of the situation, was ready to cause others pain, feeding the vicious cycle, but afterward enjoyed each moment he has left in the school, creating a wholesomeness. And this difference is mainly what people concentrate on, the outer or inner. The truth is, the ultimate goal is to change the inner state. Therefore, to do it by influencing the outer, is a very roundabout road. If you experienced the bliss from the exercise, then you know what I am talking about. Hopefully, this will help to see the truth, that water in the desert is much more valuable than diamonds and gold, because without water you cannot live, and valuing diamonds higher than water is a recipe for a tragic end. So good luck with choosing carefully priorities. Also help others to see the truth and break free from these chains, because even despite knowing the harsh truth, that nothing is granted eternal, due to the three culprits, people usually do not appreciate what they have, until they lose it, which forces them finally to truly reflect. Luckily for them, Now you too know the secret to be daily truly grateful for what we have. Moreover, if you wish to learn even more useful truth, then enjoy this video.